Hello and welcome to another episode of Odyssey Strength Podcast, joined by yours truly, Giannis Xopoulos, and
Jackson Mansudi.
we want to thank you for joining in for another episode. Hopefully we can give you some takeaway tips that can help improve your health and fitness journey, make the whole process a lot easier and more sustainable. If you're interested in coaching, you can reach out to either of us on our Instagrams. I'm Coach Xopoulos_OS.
Coach Jackson Mansudi _OS.
Or you can DM the Instagram page, Odyssey Strength, or find us on the website, odysseystrength.com.au. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another podcast, another episode of Odyssey Strength. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go. We're very positive today.
One of us has had 4 shots of coffee.
I've
The
had
other's
so
had
much
none. The other's got nothing in his system.
I thought I knew my partner, but it looks like I don't because I thought he liked almond milk, but apparently he doesn't.
I'm actually anti-almond milk. I think it's a very bad option for you.
I'm very pro almond milk. I'm only anti-soy milk.
No soy boys?
Yeah, no. Don't need the extra estrogen.
I don't know what it is. It just tastes like, it doesn't taste normal.
What, soy?
No, anything. Like anything. Almond, cashew, macadamia.
Macadamia milk's actually not bad.
Like, bro,
I actually rate it.
I could just make it at home.
How?
Well, you soak them and squeeze them. It's nut milk.
Yeah, I know it is.
No, it's nut juice, actually. It's not milk.
It's milk.
How? Well, the color.
Yeah.
It's not juice.
It's creamy.
Yeah, I don't know. Too many ingredients for me.
Honestly, though, like...
My ingredient list for milk is milk. That's it.
For me, like, I usually drink coffee black. You're not a real coffee drinker if you can't have black
Espresso.
coffee. Yeah, espresso, double espresso, or long black. Or ice long black.
Ice long black slaps.
Yeah, or...
Frappe.
Frappe, yeah.
I think that sits number 1 for me.
Yeah, like... But it has to be from Greece.
Actually, there's a good place at East Lakes does one.
East Lakes?
East Lakes. New Greek deli. Slaps.
Did you see my story yesterday?
Which one?
Of the playlist?
Yeah. The Greek playlist in the morning.
Yeah.
It's good.
Guilty pleasures, brother.
Hey, we all have our guilty pleasures.
What's happening with training? How are you?
I'm good. I had a bit of elbow pain yesterday, so I freaked out a little bit. Medial epicondylitis, also known as golfer's elbow.
Ah.
Yeah. So like
penis elbow.
Penis elbow?
Yeah.
From?
It's also known as penis elbow.
Why?
I don't know.
I guess that's what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just hurting. I don't know. I was doing some like buys and tries. And it was just sore, man. And like that's normal, but no one panicked. That's normal. But even getting to that position yesterday was killer. Like I couldn't extend my arm fully, and it just felt weak. Like even if you know how sometimes you sit like this for the camera purposes and listening purposes, got my arms behind me like you'd be sitting on the beach or something. Like you're propping yourself up. My right side would be fine. My left side feels like it's gonna snap.
Yeah, wow, that's not good.
It's not good, but it feels fine today. So we move. Don't worry about that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And if it is broken, just keep training.
Yeah, fuck
just
it,
keep training. But training is good. But now the sessions are considerably getting harder.
Is that because you're getting stronger?
Yeah. Like now, set to set, I'm like, fuck.
Are you seeing changes week to week?
Yeah, like I feel fuller. I feel bigger.
Is the scale going up?
Not anymore.
No?
Not anymore. So like I said to you on the way here, like I think I might have to increase again.
So where is the food at now?
Should know these numbers, but I don't.
It's like 3. It'll be like 3, 4 or something, I feel like.
Hold the horses, please.
Based off memory.
It is calories 3,440.
Oh, brother. What a fucking...
Yeah,
what a memory.
3,440. But I think slowly that's becoming my maintenance, unfortunately. I think from memory, the last time that I really got heavy was when I was at 3,700. That was like the magic number for me. I was at 3,500, wasn't kind of moving enough. And then I got to 3,700.
How much has your weight gone up since you started like properly again?
Maybe a couple kilos too.
That's pretty good.
I can hold, like I'm very good at holding this 80 now. It was like when I was at 70, like when I first like went to the gym, whatever. My Instagram post, that was about 71.5 kilos, the really skinny photo. And I was really good at holding that 70 kilo condition, regardless of if I ate too little or ate too much. My body would know, come back to that number. And I think now that's the same thing. I'm just stuck at that 80 unless I really make a conscious effort to like, and I'm doing a lot more activity as well. Like, yeah, sure, I'm playing soccer a couple times a week, but it's just even like I noticed during the day with the steps and stuff, it's 10, 12, 15,000 some days. And for me, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, well, eating more food naturally, the need increases as well.
Yeah.
So it becomes an uphill battle very quickly.
It's actually pretty crazy how it works, to be honest.
Yeah,
when
man.
you step back and look at it and you go, I'm eating more in the hopes of putting on more weight, but when you have more food, you have more energy, so you move more. Like, bro, I move the weights at work, like the 2 kilo weights. 20s move, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're dieting, everything feels heavy, right? You move around, you're sluggish, whatever. You have to actively make sure that you're moving. I could just go forever.
Yeah, like, so the first 2 weeks of dieting for me, my steps were naturally just hitting 15K because that's what I naturally hit. And then like it started to like hit a bit more. So then yesterday I was like, fuck, I had to go for 2 walks, bro.
Yeah.
Because you're just not moving as much.
Yeah.
Like you just want to nap, you want to sleep.
You just go like that.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekend though as well.
The weekend's the hardest. The weekend is way
100%.
at work, it's easy, but I'm doing a lot more computer work now. Like a lot more editing, a lot more emails, that sort of stuff. I'm not moving as much. So it's fucking harder. But you know what? Like I'd much rather do 15,000 steps a day than do a cardio session.
It's pretty wild, eh?
Like steps is so much better. Like you put a podcast on, you walk, and that's that.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely feeling the weight more a little bit as well at soccer. Like we did sprints last Tuesday, and I'm talking myself up, but I'm very fast. Like I can say I'm probably one of the fastest in the team, if not
with confidence.
Yeah, if not the fastest on a certain day. But then like I was getting beaten, bro. I was like, what's going on? And I started asking around, and I said to some of the boys who were beating me, how much do you weigh? Oh, 65, 68, 72, 75. I'm like, bro, I'm 80. At the time, I was 82 kilos. I was like, what the fuck?
I was having this conversation with a client the other day, just like about like sprinters and sports, and it's just like people are built for their sport.
Yeah, 100%. Like you don't really get to decide. It's picked for you.
Yeah. Like
as much as you want to try and
as much as people think, oh yeah, like I chose to do sprinting. It's like no, you were naturally good at sprinting.
You were already jacked by 15.
So you're now sprinting because you're already good at it, and you enjoy it because you're good at it.
Yeah, it's like you fall into it. Doesn't matter what you play.
Yeah, it's like look, there's a reason all swimmers look the same.
Yeah,
long arms. Long fucking legs, long torsos.
Even sprinters are the same. They all got big legs, big bum. Like they're strong up top as well. Like they're not massive, but by general population standards, they're jacked.
Yeah, and they're shorter or they're a bit lankier and they have a long stride.
Yeah, it's actually quite cool when you think about it.
Yeah, it's it's mechanically how like my client, he wanted to do deadlifts that day, and I was like, you know what? Cool. Like we'll throw in some deadlifts. So I taught him how to deadlift, and he was like, how come my deadlift's stronger than my squat? I was like, well, bro, you're tall as fuck.
Yeah, your legs are long.
I was like, but look how long your arms are.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. And he's a uni student and he's an engineer, so he knows quite a bit around the science.
He's looking at the body like,
yeah, like he's pretty switched on, and he's like, and I was like speaking like biomechanics language to him, and he's like,
you would have loved that as much as he loved it.
Bro, it was so good because like you actually get to speak in your tone, your language, and you don't have to like simplify everything. It's just like this is why it's happening, and he's like, oh, I understand, and it was actually really cool. But yeah, you don't choose your sport, man. Like just your sport chooses you.
Yeah, and
there's a reason I'm in lifting,
and that's why now like I look at it and I go, I have to try so hard to put the weight on. Like it's just. My body's like, what for? Wow, what are we doing that for? So I think once I'll go back and forth with Jason a little bit, just kind of review the plan. Because he wanted me to get, I think the other week he said he wanted me to get to like 85, 87 by the end of 3 months.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that. Like, obviously you're just trying to get as big as possible, but do you have a goal weight in mind that you'd like to hit? Well, we said you can like sort of walk away from.
Well, we said 85.
Yeah,
I think like he threw an 87. 87 playing football is pretty hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I could do it. It's not a matter of could I do it? I could, but getting there is the harder part. And then staying there is also a harder part.
Consolidate the muscle.
It's rough, bro. Like just running at that weight is nuts.
Yeah, but I guess you got to ask yourself the question, like, what do you want to be better at? You want to be better at soccer or you want to be bigger?
Yeah, it's a good question. And one that I don't even sure I know the answer to anymore.
Oh, well, I'll ask you again on the next
Ask
podcast.
me next week.
Yeah.
But no, I feel good. It's just look at food, bro. It's a mission, you know. It's no longer. Someone said it to me the other week. Like, what's your diet like? Because and this is the next thing that I was actually going to ask you.
I know where this is going.
Do you ever feel like there's a certain pressure to eat certain things as a personal trainer?
Used to.
Yeah.
Now, because I think now when people question me about my diet, they always, and I had this conversation with someone the other day too. Looking at dietary guidelines or whatever for health and for bodybuilding are completely different things. There are some similarities, but what I'm doing is not healthy. Like, sure, there's things that I do to improve my health and to do things in the healthiest way as possible, but it's just think of it as like, that made it a little bit better. Think of it as like, I'm sure there's things that someone like a sprinter does or a swimmer does that some people wouldn't consider healthy.
Of course.
So
like any sport.
So I used to feel the pressure, but now I'm just like, what I'm doing is for a sole purpose to look the best I can on stage. And that's it. Whether you want to consider that healthy, I said this, as I said, if I wanted to be a healthier person and live a longer life, because let's face it, when we look at something through the lens of health, we're looking at it through longevity. How can I get the most out of my life, feel the best, and live a longer life? I would probably not eat as much protein.
Yep.
I would probably stress less. I probably wouldn't work as much. I probably would sleep more. I probably would not train as frequently and maybe do 3 days a week.
Or as hard.
So it's like when we look at things through the lens of longevity and health, I probably wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that I'm doing now. But if we're talking about I want to look the best I can and build the best physique as possible, then you best believe I'm doing all these things. And are they all healthy? Probably not. But sorry to go on a tangent, but like I look at like most of society and the things they do, and they might look at what I do and say, oh, that's unhealthy. But then I look at some other people and it's like, well, you smoke, you drink, you already do all these other things that are not healthy with the way you eat.
Life short.
Yeah, it's just like, well, my choices bring my life a lot of fulfillment. They bring community into my life and they bring people that I align with. And not to mention, I enjoy it. So if you have those same reasons as to doing what you're doing, then that's totally fine. I don't judge you for it. But yeah, I think I have that conversation a lot, mostly with my family when they see me eat.
Yeah, fair.
Because they're just like, they don't understand, which is fine. Do you?
No, the reason I ask is because I felt probably in my own head, to be honest, because like I was walking through Coles at Bondi the other day, and I had my work shirt on, right? And it's a strange feeling walking through a supermarket with a personal training shirt on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because automatically people are already like, oh, what's he gonna pick? What's he gonna pick? I didn't go to the meat section. I didn't go to the fruit section. I didn't go to any health aisle. I went to the confectionery aisle. Right. Now, knowing what I know about nutrition, I know how it can play a factor in how it can benefit me. Yeah. But to the average person, it looks like I'm picking up a bag of lollies. And yes, okay, the action is I am picking up a bag of lollies, but what I'm doing with those,
the intention
is vastly different, right? I'm not sitting there. Well, I have done this, but I don't do it on the regular. You have a handful of lollies or whatever, like a discretionary choice, right? But like I just had this overwhelming feeling, like people were like staring at me. There was no one looking at me. Maybe one or two probably had a glance, but they don't. It's not going to stare at you. It's not as if I had my shirt off, right?
Yeah,
I saw my Adonis physique.
I've never been in Woolies and been like, oh, what's everyone looking at me?
Yeah, I don't know why I felt that way. I think it's because it's very easy to get wrapped up in, health culture as a PT, and it's always surrounded with. We've got an echo chamber of fitfluencers and coaches and clients who want to do their absolute best. And, we have to make this muffin as healthy as possible. We have to make this as healthy as possible. Like, there's just so many arbitrary rules around food within the fitness industry.
Yeah. This is the problem though as well, and I think it's really important to talk about, is like it's so context dependent.
Oh, it's literally the individuality is nuts.
Because there can be one coach who talks about calorie tracking is bad for your mental health. There can be another coach who talks about calorie tracking is essential for physique development.
Yeah.
And there can be another coach who says a hybrid of in between is also beneficial.
Yeah. And they're all right.
Yeah, and they're all right.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Are you someone with a history of mental health and disordered eating? Yeah, well then calorie tracking is probably a fucking terrible idea for you. Are you a completely mentally stable individual? Sorry, poor choice of words. Are you a completely...
Are you normal?
Do you have zero history with disordered eating? Well then you want to take your physique to a very elite level, next level, then yeah, calorie tracking is essential for you, especially from an education point of view. Are you just a person who wants to look slightly better? Yeah, cool. Then maybe a hybrid of both, and understanding this is how much protein's in this, and then doing that for maybe 12 weeks and then just eating somewhat intuitively because you have better education of your food to just look better. Then yeah, of course. It just so depends on what the goal is. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer.
And that's the thing, is like, I think looking at, people's perception is probably the wrong word. Their prior knowledge of health and fitness. Where do you learn that? PDHPE, right?
PDHPE, and then like whoever you're exposed to on social media.
But go back, like PDHPE at school, most of the people who would say, like a carb is bad, if you look at the average age, it's probably 30 plus. In my experience anyway, it's been predominantly females. So then I said, like, who told you that? And they go, oh, it's my mum. And then if we rewind, let's say their mum is average of 55 or anywhere from 50 to 60 years old.
I'd say also the biggest influencer for those people as well is because you got to remember, like, her mum, her only content absorption would also be media news.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. So like rewind, let's say 40 to 45 years ago for the mum's age. It's a magazine with a really thin model on it who smokes, has like an apple a day and maybe a glass of wine.
Yeah.
That's how you get thin, right? It's how you lose the weight.
100%.
And there was predominantly no like really overweight people and stuff like that. So then you carry that through your teenage years and you're like, all right, Matt, I'm gonna do this every year for the rest of my life
for X amount of time.
I'm gonna, run 7 times a week and go to the gym 7 times a week. Like, it's really extremist views. And then like when you speak to these people, I think it's hard to kind of show them a different perspective.
Well, it's all they know, right?
It's all they know.
And I remember, obviously, my parents watch the news every day, 6 o'clock. Comes on.
Yeah, a new nutrition thing.
Yeah, back then as well, it was
funny that, eh?
Yeah, it was the news, and then it was a current affair, and Today and Tonight, like
current affair, new studies show.
Yeah, bro. Like, my grandfather used to watch the 5, 6, 7 news, like all 3 of them, even if they all said the same thing.
Likes to be informed.
Yeah, bro. Like, he was fully locked in, and on each one of those, you best believe there was something about nutrition.
Yeah.
New diet shows this.
Yeah.
Liquid diet shows this. Fuck, bro. I remember seeing Weet-Bix diet.
Potato diet.
Water diet. Like juice, whatever the fuck it is.
Juice cleanse.
Or this new pill is the secret to weight loss. It's like, it's all just marketing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, the news people have been paid to market this product. And that's where they get the information from.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a reliable source.
And I think that's why, like, I probably felt that overwhelming feeling of like, are people judging my decisions here? Yeah. Like, am I a bad coach? Or like like I said in that post that I made, I don't consider myself a bodybuilder, but I like bodybuilding. I like the process of it. I like what it gives, the results. If I never compete in my life, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. Or if I don't win, it's not like I'm not gonna train and all that kind of stuff if I do compete to not win. That's not what I'm saying. But like if I never win or if I never compete, I can sleep at night, right? But do people think differently of how I am as a coach because I eat out so often? Like I live a little bit more of a relaxed lifestyle with nutrition and stuff. Like yesterday, I ate out twice. I went out for lunch with my family and a couple of family friends, and then I went out with some of my mates last night. And I look at that and I go, fuck. I go like, does that affect my ability to say to someone, hey, like you probably shouldn't do that?
I think it comes down to two things.
Is it like a live therapy session?
Yeah. I think it comes down to two things. One, can you turn it up if you need to?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done it? Yeah, of course you have. So then,
that's where the authority comes from.
Yeah, 100%. It's like if it's the same thing as like our coach Jason.
Yeah,
he's competed. He's done it. He's gotten. But you reckon he doesn't do the same thing on the weekend at the moment?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's dieting at the moment, so probably not. But there's definitely times where we've seen him let loose, enjoy, and
of course,
it's the same with me.
Yeah, of course.
And that's and the other thing comes down to who are you trying to train?
Yeah,
like the people that you're training probably know when to turn it up, and they know when to be laxed.
Yeah, to have a lifestyle.
For me, it's like, well, same thing, but they're probably more turned up more frequently.
Yeah, on the other spectrum.
And then it's like less frequent on the
meals out.
On the meals out.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's like there's no such thing as a meals out right now.
Yeah.
And I would expect that if my clients are doing something that I'm doing as well,
of course,
then it's the same standard.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, have you done it? Yes. Yeah, can you do it? It's like the person of coaching someone to powerlift.
Yeah.
Do you know what it feels like to have 300 on your back or a 1RM on your back? Do you necessarily have to be the best at it? No.
But you have to have emulated the same sort of feeling of
the same
pressure.
Environment. Yeah. It's like, look at Sebastian Orup. His clients are stronger than him.
Yeah. But he knows what it's like.
But he knows what it feels like to be under a heavy bar, what it feels like to have a heavy weight in your hands. It's that I've done it, so I know that what it takes and I know what it feels like to get there. It's because you're allowed to do those things, right?
Yeah. It's a food for thought. I was just, because I was like, okay. And like, I always, what I was purchasing at the time was a muesli bar. I just wanted a muesli bar between work and I was going straight to training. And I was like, I'll grab I'll see what's there, I don't eat muesli bars very often because like it's not something I would grab anymore. But they are good, right? I'm standing there and there's a guy standing next to me. And I'll get the box and I look at the thing, read the nutrition label, and like straight away when I picked it, like I kind of turned around again. He picked the same one that I picked. I was like, it's funny how much influence you can have
100%
from a small moment like that. It's like the dude was standing there for a good 3 or 4 minutes before I got there. Easily.
Yeah.
Like I went to get something else, saw him in the aisle. When I came back, he was still there.
It's literally real life Instagram post.
It's
you recommend this product.
Yeah. And it's nuts. Like there's so many products in the supermarket that people blankly stare at trying to figure out, is this good for my goals? Like it's actually crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
To think about in real life. Like I've said to some people, you okay with that? Like you need some help? They're like, oh no, I'm okay. And I'm like, not condescendingly, I'm like, do you know how to read that? And they're like, oh no. It's not something you learn.
Yeah.
And I think like the more that we get exposed to food in general, it's like probably a good idea to teach people nutrition from an earlier stage.
A perfect example is when I was on the up with the calories.
Yeah.
I was having like cereal pre-workout, post-workout. People are like, oh, is that healthy? It's like, no, it's fucking not. But
it's a necessity.
But it fucking works.
Yeah.
Because it's a great source of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
It's very quick
digesting.
And it's a fuck ton of calories, which I need to get in right now.
Yeah.
Is it going to make me live longer? No. Is it going to improve my overall health? No.
Yeah.
But is it going to give me a cracker pump? Is it going to give me the energy I need for my next workout?
Am I going to look absolutely sick?
Am I going to probably get more calories in because of it? Yes. It just depends on the goals that you're trying to tick.
Yeah. Very interesting. Like I think the longer I'm a coach, it's like when we have conversations about nutrition, I'm just like, fuck, where do I start? Like, where do I actually?
Yeah. There's just so much. I had this conversation.
It's like you said before, the context and the nuance from person to person it's insanely difficult because it's just like there are things that you need to know, but not yet.
Yes.
You do not need to know that yet.
Yeah. Like,
because if they figure it out, it's game over. It's just like, in a sense of like, it's so overwhelming.
I mean, the things that we know now, if we knew when we first started, we'd be like, fuck this.
I'd be massive.
But on that, would you be like, fuck, this is so overwhelming?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
100%.
So I need to get this much protein in. I need to track this. So oils count. So wait, sugar drinks count too. I gotta count how much coffee's in my latte.
I'll do you one better. Even meal timing.
Yeah.
Meal timing. Like that as a concept, I've only implemented probably in the last year and a half. Otherwise, it was like, okay, try and cram in as much as I can.
Bro, so to add to that as well, so I'm doing the J3 stuff.
Yeah.
And we're in the nutrition module right now.
Yeah.
And he's breaking down all things protein, which is fucking dense, bro.
Oh,
it's so dense.
It's wild.
And he's talking about
that's why there's so many scientists, like sports scientists and
do
nutritional scientists that study foods and like the effect on the body. It is insane.
So he basically just reads out studies, right? And then he adds his own conclusion.
They're not live, right?
No,
they're recorded.
Pre-recorded, yeah. So he did a study. I read out one of the studies about protein synthesis post-training. And it's like post-workout nutrition and what potentiates protein synthesis and the anabolic window and whatever.
Muscle recovery.
And recovery, restore. So there was like 2 or 3 studies and one of them showed that, there was an increase in protein synthesis post-training, 30 minutes, but, it's actually active 24 hours post-training, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, remember the anabolic window?
Yeah, the anabolic window. That's what he's referring to.
Still kind of exists.
Yeah. But then, bro, he goes, there's another study that showed that if you have protein pre-training, it potentiates protein synthesis post-workout. Basically, what it means is that you're increasing the synthesis of the protein post by having it pre-workout.
Yeah.
But then he also goes like, oh, you got to have carbs post-workout, but there is a level of glycogen storing within protein when it's stored. And it's just like just from that alone, you're like, well, fuck, what conclusion am I coming to?
There isn't one.
It's like, do I have a 30-minute anabolic window? Do I not? Do I have protein pre-training? Do I have It's like, well, again, we know the answer, but as someone else who's being exposed to this stuff and asked me, how much protein should I have?
Oh, how long do you have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
how much do you want to know?
Just answering that question.
Yeah.
And it's why it's so important and again, like not just to upsell you guys, but it's important to have a coach for this reason because
we've done it.
Yeah.
We've had to ask these questions. We've paid to ask these questions.
You can start as simple as just get some protein in within your day down to have it pre and post workout to increase your ability to build muscle, recover, all that sort of stuff. Like, how long do you have? That question.
Have 3 to 4 servings every 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
And people are like, what? But then what do I eat? What's the best form to eat? What's the good satiation? What's not? Like,
and then to do you one better, it's like when you're already ticking all the bare minimum, tick the boxes.
Oh, it's disgusting. Once you start adding on everything.
Yeah, so it's like you're getting enough fruit and vegetables in per day. And I like to say, according to the Australian Dietary Guidelines, those are the
2 and 5.
Yeah, but I add a third one, protein. That's my non-negotiable. And then once you do that, it's like, well, then you got to go. If you tick those boxes and you have 500 calories left, you can technically do what the fuck you want with those calories.
Yeah.
As long as they digest better for you. And then you give them the other one where it's like, well, if you have a banana and I have a banana.
But hang on that note, like let's say
I'm fucking loving this conversation.
We both
by the
have
way.
500 calories left at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
We're both physique competitors.
Yes.
Right. You choose to have, let's just say you choose to have a sweet treat. You have oats with a bit of protein powder, some honey, a couple berries, and banana. Right. I think you can make that 500 calories ish.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Or cream of rice.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I go and have a Big Mac.
Yeah.
Over time, I'm of the this is a huge assumption. There's no backing
This
here.
is anecdotal, yeah.
I am of the assumption that your physique will look better over time.
100%.
And your digestion and how you absorb food and how you train. Purely out of the choices that you make with your food. So that's where
I will argue that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because two different people, you might break down some things better than I do.
Yeah.
So
in terms of digestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously there's that other study about insulin sensitivity.
Yeah.
Where it's like we both have a banana, yours does nothing, mine does something.
Yeah.
We both have cereal, yours does something, mine does nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just like how you react. And there's so many factors to that as well. I don't know how we got here, but in other words,
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I fucking love it. That was fun. But it's just like, yeah, there's a lot to nutrition, and you can go as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. But the more you know is always better. But you need to be exposed to that over time. You can't just like go watch a video.
The more you know, while you understand it.
Yes.
Because there was a long time where I didn't understand a lot of things and I did them off face value, and I didn't really understand what the result was going to be, because the person who said it just said this works. And I was like, that person's big.
Yeah.
Or they're shredded.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They look how I wish I looked. So I'm going to follow their advice.
And even then, like, to be completely transparent, there is anomalies.
Some people are
just jacked.
So, yeah.
And they eat like shit. I've actually witnessed it.
Some people, like, even take some of the biggest NFL players. Some of those NFL players could step on a bodybuilding stage.
100%.
And
CrossFitters.
Yeah. They're nuts. Some people are just built for it.
And it's like, does CrossFit build muscle? Well,
how long do you have?
Arguably, you could say yes. But anyway, to conclude with nutrition, I think that the thing that you need to ask yourself is, honestly, what is your goal? What is your history with food? What is your current knowledge? And what are you willing to learn, and how much time and effort are you willing to put? If you can answer those questions honestly, then you can be pointed in the right direction. Again, do you have a history of disordered eating? Do you want to be healthier, or do you want to look better? Because then that changes.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with someone the other week, and she goes to me, she goes, oh, like I'm not losing weight. And I said, well, what are you eating? She goes, oh, like this, blah, blah, blah. She goes, but I'm getting hungry all the time. And I'm like, well, if you're trying to lose weight and you're hungry, that means it's working. And it's just like it opened a lockbox for her.
Yeah.
She just didn't know that was a thing. It's like if you're dieting, hunger is part of that. Because and she goes, oh, but like I stalled after a certain amount of time. And I was like, yeah, well, what would happen if you didn't? She goes, I'd keep losing weight. And I was like, and then what? And I was like, well, you die. Like, to be extreme, of course. And I said to her, I was like,
talking like down the end of the line.
Yeah, like your body needs to adapt. Otherwise, we just keep losing weight and end of life.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you do when you want your dog to lose weight? She goes, I feed it one less meal a day. I was like, you reckon your dog's hungry? She goes, yeah. I was like, well, it's the same thing, man. Like, we're so taught that weight loss should be easy. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely make that process easier.
I think initially it's very easy.
Initially, yeah. But like, it's like you don't go swimming without getting wet. Like you can wear the wetsuit so you're a bit warmer. You can fucking put the fins on so you glide through water a bit better. But at the end of the day, when you're dieting, there's going to be a level of hunger there. And if you don't go into that knowing that and not accepting that, it's going to make that process very hard for you.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the same thing with training too.
Same thing
on the
with
flip side. We were talking about studies before, and there was one that came out this morning, and it's talking about rest periods. And now apparently within a minute and a half now is an accepted rest time.
Really?
But if you look at the sample size of the study, only one group of the whole sample was trained individuals.
Yeah.
So they were the only people that were actually training to failure, like, and I'm talking mumbo jumbo here, but there's always like the reason that things are ever changing in fitness is because someone goes, I'm not really happy with that conclusion. I'm gonna research it myself, and I'm gonna try and get it to the way that I want it to be.
Not only that, so there's two things to add to that as well. One, like there isn't enough funding for it as well. Because it's like, if you look at exercise scientists, it's like, where are people going to put money? Finding the cure to cancer, or how do we build more muscle? There's very...
Yeah, it's
not very like...
It's not important.
It's not as important.
However, if we had a healthier and stronger population, we'd have a less aging population.
Yes.
So it's in everyone's best interest to fucking put some muscle
100%. Well, I'm not going to go political here, but that we do...
Let me speak to the Prime Minister.
We do fund intervention more than prevention. It's just how it is.
Of course.
Well, not to mention, like, there isn't enough studies done on like bodybuilders. Like, you think of like the biggest of the biggest.
Natural bodybuilders.
Both. Like,
okay, yeah,
both. Okay. There isn't enough studies done on highly trained individuals.
Well, there's actually probably not enough of them.
Well, yeah.
If you wanted to be quite frank,
yeah,
I say this to a couple of usually the females that I train in the gyms, and I say, like, a really easy way to get around gym anxiety, and I've done this myself when I first started. I'm not anxious anymore.
The caffeine's fucking rolling through.
For you.
Yeah.
I'm on coconut water. Is step back in the gym. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed, or you're like, I feel like everyone's staring at me, take a step back. Like, pretend that you're not there. You're looking through like the security camera, or you can just float through the gym. Like, you're zooming out,
got
right?
Like a bird's eye view.
Yeah, right? How many people in the gym at any given time have when I say this, exceptional physique? In a gym of 100, maybe what, 10?
And again, to add to that,
it's 10.
Yeah, 10. But also, it's fucking opinion based.
It's very subjective, right?
Someone will go to me, oh, look at that guy, he's jacked, and I'm like, no, he's not.
So let's say, for the regular standard, there might be 10 exceptional physiques or aspiring physiques, right? You've got 5 hot guys and 5 hot girls. So everyone goes, yeah, it's a good physique. I wouldn't mind looking like that if I woke up like that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, now, what is everyone else? They're just people like you who are just trying to work towards a common goal of trying to either A, better themselves, B, punish themselves for their weekend, or C,
which we don't recommend.
No, you don't. We're not going to like us if you do that. Or C, you're just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
You're just there because you think you need to be there.
Yeah, because someone told you it's important. Yeah.
Right? I said, if I gave you a plan and I said, okay, be on your way to go and do this, where do you think you'd fall in that group, like in the hierarchy of exceptional physiques and the 3 other groups of people? And they're like, well, if I know what I'm doing, and like I'm pretty well versed with how to use machines and train, and like I have a plan, I'd be like pretty confident. I said, great, go fucking train and go be confident. Like, if you have a few steps, basics of nutrition, basics of training, you don't listen to pretty much anything else apart from what's going to affect you. You don't need anything else. You can fucking train the house down, and you can get an exceptional physique.
Yeah.
Until you need to do more work.
And again, yeah, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, bar those genetic freaks. Like, look at the biggest and be like, well, fuck, success leaves clues, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that. And this is to go back to that.
Motherfuckers.
What he was saying, John Dewar, in the course, he goes like, there's only so much we can go based off the data, but then we need to look at the best people who are doing it anecdotally and be like, well, they must be fucking doing something right. Yeah. Train hard. They eat a fuck ton of protein. They get their meals in 3 to 4 hours. They do all these things. Yeah, of course, like that's deeper down the line. But if you're looking to get there or have that next level physique, then you need to at some level take what some of these people do and incorporate it.
Yeah, and it's a shame that because I think bodybuilding as a sport is so niche. Whereas even if we zoom back out again and we look at the Olympics. The Olympics is a collection of the best athletes on the world, on the planet. How many athletes, how many sprinters are there from any given country? 4. There's 27 million people in Australia, and there's 4 people that represent them for, let's say, for sprinting. There might be 10 or 12, but let's say the relay team, there's 4 people that run the relay. 4 out of 27 million.
Yeah.
Take away elderly, take away whatever. You might be left, I think there's 21 million that are within the ages of 18 to 30 something or something like that. That's insane. So when if you want to be a better sprinter, you look at what they do because they are the best at what they do. So the same thing goes with bringing it back to fitness and training and stuff is it's great to look at research and this and that, but as it comes to a point where it doesn't quantify anything. And you have to look at the best people in the world.
100%.
Because there's when you have a fucking lemon and there's nothing left to squeeze, you figure it out. You figure out another way.
100%. Yeah.
I'm gonna zest the skin. I'm gonna make more out of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what more I can do to get just a little bit more than the other person. If you're a competitive bodybuilder or whatever, even if you're in the gym.
This is what I was gonna say as well. We look at bodybuilding as a sport, right? And we look at the best. But to me, if you're in the gym to improve how you look, you're bodybuilding. That's bodybuilding training.
You are bodybuilding.
You are bodybuilding. You are trying to look better. You are trying to improve your physique. Because bodybuilding training is everything hypertrophy. Isolation, training, progressive overload, all that is bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Unless you are doing something S&C, sport-based outcome, strength-based outcome, that's bodybuilding training.
Yeah.
Like you do a bicep curl, that's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You do a chest press, that's bodybuilding.
Oh, you're building your body.
You're literally you're building muscle. That's what your outcome. Whether you want to fucking put the word tone over it, tighter skin, reduce fat, it is bodybuilding. That's what it is. So whether you don't want to look like the top of the top, you still need to take practices that they do if you want to improve your physique. It's like, bro, I got so annoyed. I saw someone on the fucking Instagram the other week. I've been meaning to get this out.
Well, this shit posting now.
And the guy was like, controlled reps, squeeze at the top, pause at the bottom. It's like, I saw how much weight was on there. And I looked at the guy and I was like, you can do more than that. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't fucking see Hardy Chupman fucking doing squeeze controlled 3-2-1 tempo, pause in the stretched position or fully contracted position, doing that. Do you want to look like an opens bodybuilder from Mr. Olympia? No. But does he have an obscene amount of muscle mass? Yes. Which means that whatever he's doing, other than bar or other things training-wise, must be fucking working. And you know what he does? He trains fucking hard and heavy. You can't deny that. So when I see people, squeeze this, tempo that, it's like, well, depending on the outcome context, 100%, just fucking train hard. Don't kick. No, of course, you don't want the weight to control you. You want to control the weight, but you can still train hard.
Yeah.
Still move more weight.
I don't disagree.
You need tension on the muscle.
Thinking back to, when I started, because I can't speak for anyone else. All I know is when I started, I did fucking drop sets, I did supersets, I did giant sets, I did this set, that set. Fucking hell, I did everything. Did I get bigger? No, I didn't. Because I was still bro, I remember I used to do incline dumbbell press into incline dumbbell flies. Right?
And that's not the worst thing.
Okay, sure. I've probably it maybe served a purpose at the time. Right? If my nutrition had to be better and more, if I had eaten more, I probably would have seen a better result. But in terms of the efficiency and the efficacy of the training, oh man, I didn't even I thought I was training hard. It was not. It's definitely a learned skill, but if you don't kind of open your eyes to it, Like, if you look at someone and you go, fuck, how the fuck is he still going? Like, I said that to you sometimes. I look at you on the Smith machine squat, and I go, oh, he's done. And then it's 2 more, and I go like, what the fuck? I go like, there's a point where looking at other people around the gym, you can take something from that. Like, there's that big guy that walks around World Gym.
Yeah.
The one with the electrolyte bottle, like this big.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop.
No.
He doesn't stop.
I mean, let's take it away from the gym for a second and put it into some different contexts for people to understand, right? You look at, let's take that concept of training where it's all control based, it's squeeze, it's all that sort of stuff.
Bit of Pilates action.
Yeah. Let's look at, let's say something like cycling. All right. So in order for you, the outcome of cycling is to increase your time, your speed, and let's say in a race context.
Got to win.
Right? Now, do you think the top of the top Cadell Evans type style is sitting there saying, oh, no, I need to sit there and just feel the bike. I need to squeeze every muscle to get the most out of it.
Man.
And I just need to glide through the bike. I don't know. I'm not a fucking cyclist. No, because at some point, whether shit hurts or not, he's going to have to pedal hard because that's what's required to win the race. Effort. Yeah. It's the same thing. Like you can, let's put it in business terms. You can sit there and improve your systems all day long. But if you've got no one buying your product or you're not selling any of your product, it still sucks. Right? It's the same thing with training. You can sit there and improve the squeeze and the fucking control all you want, but unless you're actually challenging the muscle, shit's not going to happen. Just not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Anyway, that was something that just like, because I don't know, like it's, I understand there's a level of, I guess like they don't know better.
Yep.
Yep.
But
if you're posting about it, you're clearly posting from a position of authority.
Well, this is the thing. It's like every second person now is a
expert,
influencer, personal trainer.
Level of authority, let's say.
It's very easy to become a personal trainer. Very easy. So I always before we got on this call, before we got on the podcast, we were talking about physios and stuff, right? And like the amount of simple things that weren't able to be answered just from a movement or an anatomy perspective, you're just like, holy fuck. There's got to be a lot of people out there who, with the recommendations that some people make, are fucked.
Yeah. Fuck, we're going after a lot of people.
And
today.
this isn't a fucking shit fight, dog fight. I'm coming for everyone, but
no.
It's just a wise word of warning because I listen to a lot of people who,
I mean, put it this
maybe
way.
didn't package it with intention for me, but I picked it up because I was surrounded by. I want to be bigger. I want to be muscular. I want to feel better about myself. So regardless of how it was messaged, I picked it up and I ran with it. I have to eat this, I have to do this, I have to train like this, blah, 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 blah. And maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe all I needed to be told was, hey, just eat maybe an extra meal or 2 a day and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I think if you're listening to this, go try everything. Like, actually go try it. I think there's obviously a quicker way to those things, but some people need to learn the mistakes themselves or learn the lessons as they come. But I say that with this. If you throw enough shit at a wall, some of it's going to stick. Like, it's just, one person might say, if we're talking in physio context, doing X amount of exercises for rehab works. And some people say, no, you need a rest. Cupping works, dry needling works, this, that, all that. This helps your gut health, this doesn't, or whatever the fuck it might be. If you try enough things, some shit's going to work.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's the best.
Yeah.
And it's the same for me. Like, my methods for some people don't work. It just doesn't. And I'm aware of that.
Wrong package for them.
Yeah.
Wrong option. That's it. That's all it is. It's just that some people are more inclined to listen to a certain message.
Yeah.
We could say the same thing and people will pick it up differently.
Yeah, 100%.
Always.
It's
Language
like
is
if you go,
yeah.
if there's Nike and Adidas next to each other, you might like some shit from Nike, some shit from Adidas. Doesn't make them both shit brands.
Yeah.
Like it's just doesn't fit the style of the person.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. It's just how it works. So yeah, I don't know where I'm really going with that, but I guess it just means that, you know, some shit's gonna resonate with you and some's not, and you just gotta try different things to find what works. But if you resonate with us, just come train with us.
Yeah, you don't have to try everything. You can just come and train with us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, like if you do things with someone, it's just gonna get you there quicker.
Yeah, and I wish, looking back now, I had started with someone.
100%.
Someone who had my best interest earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually had done what has done what I wanted to do.
Yeah, because I think if I trained, yes and no, because if I trained everyone like I trained myself, I'd probably have no clients.
No, at the beginning.
At the beginning. Yeah.
When you first started.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, it's good.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This is a great time for you guys to like, subscribe, share. If you enjoy what we're doing and how we go about things, please just subscribe and share with your friends. Like, follow. You know.
Just put us everywhere.
Put us everywhere. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you.